The holy grail of business marketing is to be able to get customers for free. Imagine if you could just snap your fingers and overnight have 100,000 happy customers. How big would your business be? How much profit could you make in that case? If you send an email and got just 1% of those 100,000 people to buy a $100 product, that's $100,000 in sales just by taking 10 minutes to write and send a single email. So that is the power of being able to get customers for free. Now, even if you make no profit getting those 100,000 customers, your life becomes much better once you have 100,000 happy customers that you can sell to anytime you want. So in all the business I've been involved in, there's a lot of different ways to get customers, but there are really two ways that I believe are the best ways to get customers for free. And now we're going to go into both of those. Way number one is with paid advertising. So if your average profit per order is greater than your cost to get a customer, you win with paid ads. That's the whole game. So for example, if your average order value is $100 and your gross margin is 50% or $50, and if your cost to get someone to buy is $50, the same as your gross margin or gross profit, then your cost to get a customer is free. So for every $50 that you spend on advertising, let's call it Facebook ads, you're getting $100 in revenue. But, because you're selling physical products, if we're talking about e-commerce, not all of that is profit. And so you've got your product costs you got to pay for, your supplier costs, your shipping costs, packaging, all that sort of stuff. And so let's say your gross profit for every $100 you make is $50. So you got all those costs you got to pay for. The rest is the money you have left over. And so you make $50 for every sale that you get. And if you're running ads and for every $50 you spend on ads, you make a sale, that means the cost to get a customer, the gross profit is exactly the same. That means you're essentially getting customers for free. You've got some overhead costs and that kind of thing, but usually those don't scale proportionally with your number of customers that you get, because once you have your supplier system set up and everything, all that can be relatively automated, but you're basically getting customers for free in this case. So for example, if you spend $1 million, that means you get 20,000 new customers. Based on the numbers I just gave you, that means you're getting $2 million in revenue, but because of your cost, you're making $1 million in gross profit. So you spend $1 million, you made $1 million in gross profit, so it's basically a wash. But what you've done is you've acquired 20,000 customers, and your cost to get all of them has been nothing. And so now you have this much bigger business, and all those customers you can promote to via email, via SMS, package inserts, postcard mailings, retargeting on Facebook, all the different good things you can do to follow up with those customers. Now you've got a real business. And so the way you get to this point with paid advertising specifically is to create a high revenue per visitor sales funnel. What does revenue per visitor mean? A lot of people don't talk about it because it's kind of a little bit, for some reason harder to wrap your head around. But what it really means is you have a good conversion rate and a good average order value. We went deep into both of those in the past few episodes, so feel free to back up like 4 episodes and then listen from there. All the episodes are fairly short, so you can listen to all those in probably like an hour. But you want to ramp up your conversion rate, so you get the most number of people that hit your site to actually buy something, and then ramp up your average order value. And so that means the average amount of stuff people buy from you in any given transaction. If you can increase both of those, you'll have a high revenue per visitor, and you'll be off to the races with paid ads and getting customers for free. So the best way, number 2, to get customers for free is affiliates. I love affiliates. You got to kind of make sure they don't do anything weird. But aside from that, it's great because it's all performance based. With ads, you're typically paying by click or by 1,000 impressions. With affiliates, you typically only pay if they actually make you a sale, kind of like influencers. So it's like, doesn't really matter if they do nothing because it doesn't cost you anything, which is why one of my very first businesses, I scaled almost exclusively with affiliates to over $30 million a year in sales in that business, and my risk was basically nothing because if the affiliates made sales, I made money, I made profit, but if the affiliates didn't make sales, it didn't cost me anything. So it's a great arrangement. And so using the same numbers we went through on the paid ads, let's say your average order value is $100, that's revenue, and that means at a 50% gross margin, your average gross profit per order is $50, so half of that. And let's say you pay your affiliates either 50% of every sales or $50. And in this case, it's the same thing. So that means you're paying your affiliates $50 per sale, Your average sale makes you $50 in profit. So then basically the affiliate's making some money, but you're not making any money, but you're not losing any money either. But you're getting customers for free. The affiliates are doing all the hard marketing work for you, and you're just getting tons of free customers. The biggest mistake I see businesses make, even people that have been doing this for a long time, is they're too stingy with affiliates. They always think, forget these affiliates. They're doing all this hard work to grow my business. I want to squeeze out some extra money out of them as I'm not going to pay them so much. I'm tired of writing these checks every month. The affiliates just want to make money. That's their business. And so you got to pay them well. The more you pay them relative to all their other possible opportunities to make money as affiliates, the more they're going to promote you instead of somebody else, especially one of your competitors, which is what you don't want to happen. So for example, when we started growing LifeBoost, we started with paid ads, but then I went to this mastermind event in Arizona. There was these guys up there talking about how they were basically doing some SEO, but they realized that I think they were selling like a teeth whitening product, that rather than doing all this hard SEO work that could take like a year to get any results, they would just Google, best teeth whitening, I believe, and then they would find those sites and just buy them. They already ranked for everything they wanted to rank for, so they would just buy those sites, change out all the links to their own products. I was like, this is a great idea. So I started Googling like best organic coffee, that kind of thing, and I was initially going to try to buy these sites, but then I realized it wasn't really that great of a fit because they were promoting like, $600 espresso machines, $2,000 espresso machines, that kind of thing. And I was like, it doesn't really have anything to do with us, in addition to promoting coffee. But that was a smaller part of their thing. And so instead, I just worked some deals and said, hey, I guarantee you we'll make you more money than anybody else. You're making these lame like 4% Amazon affiliate commissions. We'll pay you $30 for every sale that you send to us, which was based on those similar kind of metrics I gave a few minutes ago. And then all of a sudden they switched to promoting us, and we're number one on everything because we make them more money. And so your goal should be able to make affiliates more money than anybody else. Now, the thing is that people, I don't really get why, is they'll be willing to give Facebook all of their profits, but then they don't want to give any money to affiliates. You should be willing to spend the same amount for affiliates to get a customer as paid ads. So if you're willing to break even on customer acquisition with paid ads, you should be willing to do the same thing with affiliates. Like, what's the difference? So it's just another traffic source, another way to get customers for free. So a big takeaway from this thing is to make any of these traffic sources work, you got to dial in your sales funnel, increase conversion rate, increase average order value. If you do that, you can make almost any traffic source work, any paid advertising platform and affiliates. And once you have a well-converting sales funnel with a high average order value, you're off to the races. You can scale, because that's where most people get stuck, because their sales funnel kind of sucks. It doesn't convert that well. The average order value is not very good. And then they're sitting wondering why they can't get enough traffic. There is plenty of traffic out there. They're thinking of the number of billion user plus platforms. You've got Facebook, Instagram, I believe. You've got YouTube and Google, so that's 4. I don't think TikTok is, maybe they're at 1 billion plus, I'm not sure yet. And so anyways, you've got at least 4, maybe 5 platforms out there with 1 billion plus users. There's plenty of traffic out there. You just have to be able to afford that traffic, meaning that you have a high enough conversion rate, high enough average order value to make it work out. Once you do that, you're off to the races. So as far as a big action for you to do now, I recommend you measure your conversion rate and average order value of your current best, highest traffic sales funnel and aim to improve it every day. The more you keep ramping up, the more profitable it is going to be for you to run traffic, and the more you can work paid ads, you can work affiliates, and just about any traffic source out there. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This is hugely important. This is the secret to businesses that I've built that have now sold, got to be approaching $400 million in sales, multiple $30 million plus a year businesses. And I've helped people sell over $10 billion online. This isn't for me to brag. This is just kind of drive home that this stuff is important. This is the whole game that I play in every business that I get into. So hopefully you found this useful. If you want all the future episodes, please subscribe. That really helps. And by the way, if you listen on iTunes, drop me a review on iTunes. And so you just go to the podcasting cover. So click on the actual show, scroll down, the review should be sitting there. It took me a while to find this, is why I'm telling you. So please give me a review. That's very helpful. It's very encouraging to let me know people are liking this and enjoying it. Otherwise, subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform or on YouTube. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.